All right, everybody, and welcome back to another jam-packed, very big episode of Show Choir Nation. I'm your host, William. Also with me tonight are Ethan and Quinn. How are we doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing
I'm
great.
doing good. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
You
Don't both of you go at once.
I was thinking about it.
The good weather got us feeling good. It feels amazing outside. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
I went out to leave for work and I was like, I don't want to go to work. It's like, this is not fun. But yeah, great day, great vibes, great weather. Hopefully there's more in the future.
Well, yeah, weather's great. I'm in shorts right now. You can't tell because it's of the live stream, but weather's pretty good here. Hopefully it'll stay that way this weekend. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
Well, if we had one word to describe this past weekend's show choir action, that word would probably be chaotic. And our usual chaos segment is the 3 fastest minutes. However, we have decided that there is just way too much chaos going on, and we are going to turn this into the rapid fire chaos round. So we are going to list off 23 competitions that had some kind of chaos in them. We're going to each talk for 60 seconds about these competitions. It will be fast, it will be furious, and we will see you on the other side. Ethan, you have 60 seconds starting now.
Oh, is that me?
60 seconds starting
I have
now.
60 seconds. All right. Well, Wheaton North started off their season with a grand champion. No vocals, no choreo. What's interesting is that El Paso Gridley took best choreo at Bettendorf and got third place, which is also not the first time this has happened to them this season. And also not the first time we've seen it in others. Like in last season, they took multiple best choreo awards and also didn't win. So that's not that shocking to see. Davenport North taking best vocals from Wheaton North is really interesting to see. Must have been really close. Unfortunately, I haven't seen either of the shows yet, but to me, it just seems like that was really close. And congratulations to High Fidelity for getting 5th and making finals as Bendorf.
Still got some time left.
I speedran. You told me to speedrun.
All right, and
you said keep going.
All right, I have the Carroll results. These ones very, very interesting. Franklin Central late add into this one. Everyone expected to more or less walk in and then walk out with all of the hardware, and boy howdy, that was not the case. FC Singers did walk out with the division win. They also walked out with best visuals. However, they did not walk out with best vocals. That belonged to Lafayette Jefferson first edition, taking vocals from a choir twice their size. Jefferson also taking best band. And if we look at the women's division, Franklin Central also got vocals taken off of them. However, this time it was not from Lafayette Jefferson. It was from Cathedral Irish Adrenaline, who actually took no captions last weekend at Edgewood. So we had a couple big captions being taken off of FC. We don't know whether this is FC perhaps working out some of the flaws in their show, or if it is all of these choirs rising up to the level of one of Indiana's best programs, both in mixed and in women's. We're done. All right. Ethan, Cremoni.
Yeah. Cree, stand up. Starting off, I'm going to, before it gets covered up, mixed division tier 2, what a battle. This is a scene that's ever changing. And in our Illinois preview article, we said Herscher Class Act was a choir that was on the rise. Certainly proved that right, winning this division outright, beating Sullivan, Mundeleins Prep Group, and Piotone, and peaking in their farewell tour. So had to give some love to Herscher Class Act. And then, of course, madness all over the place. Esprit doesn't win the Trouble Division as many thought they would probably do. Mother McAuley, Mac Melody gets the win. First time win against Wheaton. Second time they've gone up against Wheaton. Naperville North gets third. And then, of course, we had some misses in finals. Mundelein gets the win with Best Band. Dwight D. Eisenhower gets a rare Best Vocals, Best Choreography sweep for second. Oswego in third. The classic, not probably where everyone thought they were going to be in fourth. And then Mother McAuley getting that last spot in finals, meaning Mantino and Naperville North missed finals. Chaos in Illinois. Chaos.
All right. Up in Wisconsin, we did have a little bit of chaos, not quite as much. Monona Grove Silver Connection taking home the win alongside the best vocals caption. Preble center stage in second place for their best result as a program since the Green Bay Southwest Packerland Powerhouse Showcase in 2022. However, the most eye-grabbing placement of the night was New London Vision in third with best choreography and best band. I was in attendance at this competition. I would have actually had it flipped the other way. I think New London produced a very hair better of a vocal sound. I think Monona Grove actually had better choreography by a pretty decent chunk. However, that was not even all of the craziness. Milton Correlation, a pretty shock finals miss. Sometimes you just go out and you do a run of your show and it's not super receptive to the judges that are on the panel. So Milton missing finals. However, on the upside of that, Bayport Pandemonious made their first finals round ever as a varsity class choir in Wisconsin. Bayport, a choir located just 20 minutes from De Pere.
Heading to Fishers, Indiana for me. Classic Center Grove win. Swept it up. Noblesville in second. Everyone thought that. The Lawrence North versus Lawrence Central battle began, and Lawrence North got the head of it. However, the real story is in the Tier 2. Tier 2, Ben Davis with a very, very nice win with best vocals. Columbus North, second best band. Where's best visuals? It's Pendleton's in third place, much like El Paso up north in Wisconsin. Third place was best visuals. Rounding that out with no placements for Center Grove Surround Sound and Franklin Community Heritage Sceners. I had boots on the ground telling me Columbus North was very, very impressive. Same was Ben Davis. Ben Davis, was a varsity mixed choir in Tier 1 for the longest time. They bumped down to Tier 2 here. And yeah, it showed dividends. Definitely getting their first win of the season with best vocals is a very good sign for competitions ahead for Ben Davis.
Down in Texas, the Fort Worth Southwest Cowtown Classic kicked off the competition season. A lot of people wondering, will Keller Blue Lights continue their reign as the best choir in Texas? The answer to that is no. Keller Central Voices of Central taking home their first grand championship since the 2023 season. VOC, under the new direction of Aubrey Kistler and Leanna Noblet, going out and taking both major captions in Texas, strutting their stuff, and absolutely telling the world, longtime observers, that Keller Central was the best choir in Texas. There was a time period where it was in question. Maybe it was Keller, maybe it was Fossil Ridge for a day or two, maybe it was LD Bell for a day or two. We are back in the era, push it forward, of Keller Central is the best choir in Texas. Jenks, Oklahoma, who more or less, I think some people had favored to win this competition, was third, just kind of showing the strength. And it was very, very close between third and fourth. Fossil Ridge Pantheon putting up a very big fight for that 3 spot as well. But Keller Central, they will head to HOA Orlando at the end of the season. A lot of people maybe counted them out before the season, saying, no, they're just kind of there for some decoration and a group from another region. I think you have to start looking at Keller Central very, very seriously, of course, in the Texas season, but also as they head to HOA Orlando at the end of the season. Also, the return of Pascal High School to competition at Fort Worth Southwest, now under the name of Ultraviolet instead of their previous name, Vokes. So,
alrighty. Hastings Uncaged from Nebraska has their third win in a row at the Grand Island Northwest Gold Rush. Beating out Grand Island Senior, who beat them last year at this competition. Interestingly enough, this one was not a sweep where Uncaged only took choreo and band, and it was actually Carney who took best vocals. This is the first time they've taken the Caption Award since 2023. So shout out to Carney for that one. Their season's not done. They'll be at Lincoln Northwest this weekend going up against Sioux City East, Omaha South, and Pius the 10th. As for Hastings, their season's also not done. They'll be at Wahoo in a few weeks. And then they'll be at Grand Island's competition after that, where they're going up against Gretna Revolution, which will be a very interesting matchup. Also, Grand Island not senior Northwest is also going to be at that competition. So that'll be a very interesting top 3 to see.
All right. Up next, we have, let our producer find the banner here. We have Tupelo freaking Synergy. Tupelo Synergy taking home a sweep win at the Jackson Academy Show Choir Invitational over Grenada Visions. Of course, Grenada, some big results in these past couple of years. Tupelo won a couple competitions in the late 2000s as a mixed group as Wave Connection. However, since the reboot of the program as Synergy as a women's choir, plenty of second place best vocals, had been unable to get to that overall GC spot. They did it in commanding fashion at Jassy Comp, where I don't think very many people thought that they even stood a chance against Grenada, much less take all three of the South's major captions. So, looking forward, could Tupelo win even more competitions? And also, Grenada, they've got to come out and prove themselves this weekend at the Tupelo King City Classic, where they will face Prairie from Iowa and others. Jassy, again, I hear their chicken tenders are undefeated, so that was another great part of the weekend as far as I know.
Yes, we're heading to Joplin. Joplin, the spotlight. Overall grand champion was Broken Arrow. They literally won almost everything, but the story isn't about Broken Arrow, even though it is an amazing win. The story is definitely about Arkansas City. Arkansas City in their second ever competition, making finals. Oh my goodness, this is huge for them. And let's just take a step back. They did win a caption. They did. Best closer. You're telling me Arkansas City won best closer against Broken Arrow, Webb City girls who are amazing, Broken Arrow girls who are amazing, Mount Vernon, and all the others. They ended up edging out McDonald County, who is a very strong choir in Tier 2, to make finals here. And all the props to them. They deserve all the love right now. They must be feeling on top of the world. Congratulations, Unleashed Arkansas City.
All right. Heading over to the Lincoln Southwest Showdown. Lincoln East, after getting sixth place at the beginning of the season at Gretna, jumps all the way to first here. It wasn't a complete sweep, though. They took choreo and band, while Elkhorn South Blackout, who was projected to be the fan favorite at this competition, just took vocals. But still impressive for both of these groups. It also looks like this is the end of Norris Gold season at Lincoln Southwest. First winless season since 2023 with their Casper show. Chain Reaction is popping off this year. Sure, they only got fourth place, but they're doing really impressive for Lincoln High School. Royalty is doing great. Fifth place here, but it looks like they'll have an opportunity to win at the end of the season at Bellevue East. And of course, Elkhorn South Shockwave has only missed finals once this season so far. And it looks like they could make finals at O'Gorman in a few weeks. So still a lot of impressive stuff going on here.
At the Marion Harding competition, we had a bit of a surprise winner in the Ohio scene, the Olentangy Keynotes, taking home two captions over Grove City to take their first win since the 2022 season. Olentangy, one of those choirs where they've absolutely put together solid shows these past few seasons. However, perhaps the results on paper haven't really been there. Olentangy came out. They hosted their own competition on January 31st, the Keynote Classic, where they hosted some of the region's top groups, including Center Grove and Marysville. Then the Keynotes come out swinging at Marion Harding in the absence of Marysville, who had pretty much run that competition recently. They come out and they take their first grand championship in, count it up, 4 seasons. So a big result for Marion Harding there as they move on into the thick of the Ohio season. Didn't just happen in one category, it happened in 2 divisions as well. The Olentangy She-Notes took down Grove City Class Act in the battle for 4th and 5th in finals. Norwood Silhouettes, also a good finals appearance.
Christopher Jive in the Uptown 45, one of the best choir names in the country, gets their first ever win. They did it with the best choreography, best crew captions. Vocals was all the way down in 4th. Muscatine ended up getting best vocals in 4th place. This is huge for West Branch. I mean, I just went back and looked. They've been getting 5th place at this competition every single year since 2023. So the fact that they were able to jump up this high for the first ever win is just a great sign for things to come. Benton Community gained second place. I believe this is our second place at this competition in 2 years. So they're 2 for 2 in that category, you could say. And West Branch just beat an amazing choir. So huge for West Branch and Christopher Jive and the Uptown 45.
And we'll let that run. Down at the Northeast Jones Classic, Brandon Brio won this competition for the 5th time. They've won it 5 out of 6 years that the NEJ Classic has happened, save for a lone Clinton win. But that's a story for another day. Those of you Southern ball knowers absolutely know what I'm talking about. The big story here, 5 groups in finals. Top 3 pretty much what a lot of people would say, Brandon Brio, South Jones Company, Brandon Bellis. However, the 4 and 5, Summerall Legacy comes out. This is only their second finals berth in the past 4 seasons, and they beat Oxford Sound, who was scored very, very well by the judges during the morning round, and also was challenging for an overall win at Tallahassee in January. This is a group that was splitting up captions for the overall win, and then they come out in Summerall, which is a group that, okay, they've been in Middle Mix in Mississippi for a while, but they kind of maybe get overlooked by a South Jones or an NEJ in their Middle Mix years, or like a good Pearl River Central year. Summerall's making a name for themselves right away this year. So shout out Summerall Legacy. Expect great things out of you in the future.
CSI wins at Norwalk Nexus. They were in second place to Iowa City West, who's also and having a shout out to Iowa City West for having a really good season. I know people were doubting them because they got a Minecraft show. Oh, that's not going to be very good. And then they've actually been performing really well. So shout out to them for that. Side 1 in 3rd place, Lewis Central in 4th. Interestingly enough, fun fact: the top 4 of this competition have all won this competition at least once. Good Time Company did it last year. Side 1 did it the year before, and Corporation did it the year before. So it shows that Heath Gamer. I messed it up. It's okay.
All good.
But
we about to have a moment.
He's doing great things for CSI. Their season's not done. They're going to be at North Polk this next week, going up against Ankeny Visual Adrenaline and having a rematch against West Des Moines Valley Correlation.
We'll now go into a group choreographed by Connor Pilgrim. The West Jones Imagination traveled out of state to Alabama and pulled off perhaps the Southern Show Choir upset of the decade. We're over halfway through the decade, so I perhaps feel confident in saying that. Beating Homewood, the network, and people coming into this comp, they're like, maybe Auburn has a shot at Homewood. No one was saying that West Jones had a shot at Homewood, but I know one thing and one thing only, is that if no one got me, West Jones and Best Vocals got me. West Jones, musicianship, and the overall win over Homewood. Also, Spain Park Rhapsody in Blue in 3rd place. Not trying to toot my own horn, but I said on the teardown a couple weeks ago at Hoover, I said Spain Park is going to do a lot of damage this year, a lot more damage, and a lot of people think they're capable of. And Spain Park proving that already. Madison Central with a very solid 4th in finals. Auburn just kind of sliding to 5th almost by process of elimination. Absolutely stacked finals at the Oak Mountain King of the Mountain Invitational, one of the comps of the year in the Southern Circuit.
Alrighty, Papio South. So this is the 4th year in a row that Revolution has won this competition with vocals and choreo. Millard West in 2nd, Will Taken Best Band, Mitchell in 3rd. This was actually the competition I was at, so I would actually like to shout out something really cool that happened when I was there. I was walking to the gym for prelim awards, and some guy stopped me and said, "Hey, I've seen you on Show Choir Nation. I've seen you on Homeroom Show Choir," and it was a Millard West ad. And it was really had a really good conversation with the Millard West families. Really excited. I was, hey guys, I'm rooting for you. So if they're watching, shout out Brian and Matt for being really cool, really welcoming. I hope y'all have a good rest of your season. You guys travel to Ohio towards the end of the season. That's gonna be really fun. That's for other results. Evolution take 5th place over Uptown. And I don't think this is going to be the last time we're going to see either Evolution or Uptown in finals this season.
Brian and Matt, please come talk to me at Omaha South.
Yeah, quick shout out. The Millards are amazing. I mean, they love this. They love this show. I'm surprised anybody watches it, but the Millards always got our back. Yeah, so we're gonna head off to the East Coast. We're gonna head in the mountains, Mountain Mama, West Virginia, Polka. Someone check the pulse of Winfield right now. Emerald Elegance is going crazy. They are going nutty. If you look at their page on showcard.com, the amount of captions is unbelievable, and they've only gone to 2 comps. Beating their mixed choir again, general admission, who ended up getting second place. So, I mean, if you're Winfield, you're getting the top 2 spots at 2 competitions in a row. Holy cow. I mean, that's just great things for your program. I also just want to shout out, I love captions on the East Coast. For example, we have Judge's Choice for Indiana Jones Obstacle Course. Shout out St. Clairsville. The best use of on-state transportation. Shout out Campbell Midland. They got third. I feel like this is a huge win for Winfield Emerald Elegance. I know they're second in a row overall, but going into Center Grove, I believe in like 2 weeks, they will be battle tested, especially when they travel that far. I can't wait to see how they withstand the Indiana prowesses, and including Oak Mountain, who I believe is making the run at Center Grove as well. Congratulations, Winfield. You have an amazing program that's running a tight ship right now.
Moving up the eastern seaboard towards New England, we have the Shepherd Hills Central Mass Festival this past weekend. Daniel Hand beating Waltham in a split caption decision. However, the real story was the strength of the small mixed scene in New England. Right now, there are more small mixed groups than there are large mixed groups, but also the small mixed groups are absolutely pulling their weight on stage. The top 2 in this division were Scranton First Edition from Pennsylvania and Hillsborough Legacy from New Jersey. Longtime listeners of the show, aka those of you who watched a week ago, know that I was very big on Hillsborough after their success at Tantascwa. Well, we have the medal results, and in the Northeast, they do the medals. Scranton and Hillsborough both won gold medals, which means that they outscored large mixed groups Andover and Tantascwa, who made silver medals. So don't know what the numbers are looking like for either group, but clearly they're at the performance level of large mixed groups. Would love to see either or both of these jump into the large mixed fray sometime soon.
All right, Sioux Center Showdown. Bishop Elin sweep with Emmitsburg in second place. Interestingly, all 3 of Bishop Elin's groups made finals, including Momentum getting third and Magnifique getting fourth. Shout out to Des Moines Lincoln Infinity for making finals first time making finals in years. I couldn't immediately tell you when the last time they made finals was, but it's been a while, so shout out to them for that. And also shout out to Logan Magnolia, who ended up outscoring Des Moines Roosevelt and making finals. Des Moines Roosevelt made finals at this competition last year where they got third, but they missed out this year. So very interesting, very fun competition. Bishop Elin's first win of the season. They'll be at Spirit Lake in a few weeks, where they're going up against Sioux Falls, Washington, Totino Grace, Lewis Central, and a newly revitalized Sioux Center Satisfaction.
Huge news out of Missouri. You know, a very strong choir for a very long time. Carthage Senior Sound Wave finally get that breakthrough from 2019. And you know how long ago that was? I was a sophomore in high school. So that was so long ago. I'm Monk. Best vocals, best choreography. Ended on top of some amazing choirs like Oak Park and Piatt County. For Soundwave, you know, new year with a new choreographer. I believe it's Dalton Myatt. New choreographer at Carthage for Carthage Senior. The fact that they were able to sweep the way that they were and get best closer means, you know, they know how to close a show and they know how to bring it the whole show long. So congratulations, Carthage Senior. You guys deserve your flowers. Great win.
Did you just say Piatt County instead of Platte County?
No, I thought I said Platte. Was it?
Quinn,
No,
you're the tiebreaker.
I heard Piatt. I heard
My
Piatt.
bad. It's a county. We'll get it. We'll get it.
And shout out the Saragordo Broncos.
Shout out.
North Central Counterpoints and Descants both with absolute statement wins at the Southmont Show Choir Invitational. This is the first time North Central has started their season before Pike in a very long time. And by that, I mean, I don't think they performed before Pike last year. So at least 2 years. But Avon and Plainfield both had NC's number last year, especially in the women's division. And so North Central Counterpoints and Descants both coming out at Southmont and getting those great wins to start off the season. North Central now in year number 2 under their new direction team. Last year, bit of a transition year for them. I don't think anyone would really dispute that. but long considered generally a top 5 program in the state of Indiana. Former Show Choir Nationals champions will be making another appearance at SCN this year. And what better way to start off maybe not a championship bid at Show Choir Nation, but certainly a bid to make finals and place well by winning over 2 of your tightest rivals from this past season at the beginning of the 2026 campaign.
Heading to T-Roy. I was so blessed to be there for, I believe, my 10th or coming up on my 10th year. So thank you for hosting once again, Troy. Amazing barbecue, amazing. It was actually better than I remembered. So shout out to them. Starting in single clef, crazy results. Mount Zion left Fims gets 5th. You've Got Mail got the better of them, got 3rd, and then Neo Show got 2nd and 1st. Sugar and Spice topping the cake. Also, if you see Neo Show phenomenon throughout the season, you can't miss them. Bob the Builder, great. No spoils. And then we get to the top. Mount Zion with a new director at her first competition as a director gets her first win. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Mount Zion after a very wonky year last year. Winning was best choreography. And then Neo Show. Oh my goodness. What an amazing show by Neo Show. I know for a fact that they finished with over a double-digit margin in vocals. That's how strong vocally they are. Glenwood, they were 2nd in the day. They ended up finishing in 3rd. One of the best Glenwood shows I've seen in a long time. Definitely has legs, as I like to say. Mount Zion was in 3rd in the day, jumping all the way up to 1st. So that just proves that finals, there can be a difference. Rockbridge, amazing. And I just want to give a shout out to Marquette, Neosho, Sugar and Spice, and Rockbridge. Like for some reason during the preliminary awards, you guys weren't allowed to cheer. I'm cheering for you guys. Okay, congratulations, big finals burst by all you guys. But of course, the story being Mount Zion getting that monkey off their back. And then I have another one, back to back, and I wouldn't want it to be anyone else. Euclid, I love that you put that in the banner. Euclid, oh my goodness, they are on a 1-of-1 run right now. Winning a competition like this, and then having groups like Edgewood and Medina not be making finals and Euclid win. If you would have told me that maybe even last year, or I would say last year, I'd be like, that's not true. Just a huge win for Euclid. I'm super happy for them. I believe they're slowly becoming a fan favorite across the country. I don't even know if they know that. I feel like a bunch of people are starting to love the power of Euclid, and just a huge win for them.
Anything else to say? No Garfield Heights mention?
No
Garfield Heights mention.
You can mention them.
No, I'm good. That was
you just mentioned them. So
okay. Garfield Heights, 1st and 2nd this year. Congratulations, Garfield Heights. Stephen Penrod's final season. Great job. So, on that note, we are done with a bit of the chaos. I can't believe we made it through that with no comments. 23 competitions and no comments. We're gonna do a bit of a different segment here. We don't often like to wax too philosophical. However, with all of the craziness, for every group that totally outperforms what everyone thought they would do, there is a group that maybe they walk out of that competition and they say, man, this one really hurts. We thought we were going to do really well. We didn't do as well as we thought we did. Whether that's you thought you were going to win and you were 3rd with best choreo, you thought you were going to be 3rd and you were 6th, you thought you were going to make finals and you didn't make finals. So between the 3 of us, there's probably more show choir experience than we would care to admit. I mean, someone just said that he went to his 10th Troy Invitational. So we got a little bit of stuff under our belts. So I think we just wanted to take a couple moments and kind of say, what are some quick practical takeaways going forward if you're in the boat of we didn't have as much success as we wanted to this past weekend. Ethan, I'll toss this one to you first.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it definitely sucks. I mean, no one's saying it's not. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times I've been on that receiving end. Whether it even be prelim scores going into finals, or whether it be the final results, whether it be a caption. I mean, there's so many different things you can look back on and say, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. It should have went this way. It should have been our group. It should have been this group, so on and so forth. I just feel like, in the end, it's all about positivity. I swear the MC at Troy he would only preach positivity the whole time, even to the part where you had to have like a unison clap, and if you didn't do it, you did it 50 more times. We're all big one. Yeah, it was a lot. It was one big unified show choir community. We need to be happy for each other. And also there's a part of being a professional in some sense. Now, I know I'm asking high schoolers to be professional, but as an overall sense, it only takes one bad interaction for a group to have to think of your choir a certain way. And I've seen that happen millions of times. And I think that is a true shame. It's like whenever you're leaving that auditorium after they announce, final awards, it's like you got to keep your head up high. Get to the homeroom. That's where you can have situating. That's where you can talk about whatever. But as soon as you leave that homeroom, your chin is up. You're walking out with pride. You're cleaning up the homeroom, thanking the host. And then you get on that bus, and it's like, well, whatever happened. And the only thing that we can do is get better from it, is learn from it. So I've always said losing is better than winning, majority of the time, because you actually get to learn from your mistakes. Rather, when you win, you disregard a lot. So. You might not get the placement you want. However, you can turn that into positives in so many different ways. So don't get too disgruntled, especially if it's early in the season, because you have a lot to learn and grow on. But yeah, I feel like we just have to show it in a better manner.
Quinn, what wisdom do you have to offer the folks?
One thing a little bit different from what Ethan said, but one thing I've learned over the years is after seeing a bunch of score sheets, is genuinely just seeing how close a lot of these competitions are. Like most of these are way closer than you would ever think they were. And a lot of stuff can happen between prelims and finals. Um, in an ideal world, your finals performance is better than prelims because you've gotten some feedback and you're like, okay, let's see if we can make some of these changes. But so you don't know. Judges' opinions, in my experience, have been very. I've heard really good critiques from judges, and I've heard some really interesting critiques from judges too. So, um, at the end of the day, that is who is going to determine who gets first, second, or third, and it is really close. So one day they might prefer the group that has cleaner choreo over the group that has more stylish choreo, or like vice versa. And at the end of the day, it's just about preference. So I wouldn't take it too personally. We were all in their shoes. We get it. It's hard to not take it personally, but all you can really do is um, go practice, put in the hard work, and see. Okay, let's do better. Let's make sure we do as good as we want to do this season.
Absolutely. A couple things that I want to add on top of that. Number one, as both of you have kind of alluded to and touched on, at the end of the day, it is a panel of 3 or 5, or maybe at the big competition, 7 people that determines your placement for the day. And that is simply it. That is how your show was perceived among 7 people in the gym. Now, are they probably among the most qualified people there to view a show? Sure. But out of the hundreds or perhaps maybe 1,000 or 2 people in the performance space, that's how 3 to 7 of them view the show, right? And that leaves hundreds and hundreds of people who may have viewed your show differently. And you need to be appreciative of the support that you have during that time. It's certainly very tempting to just kind of say, oh no, like I'm done with this. I don't want to hear any compliments right now. I know we're bad. I know we didn't do it. You need to be appreciative of the support you have. People really do mean it. They're not just saying it to say it. Most people who are saying, oh, I thought you should have made finals, they're really saying that. And they're not just saying that because you're sad. Or the people who say it'll be okay, they really do believe that it'll be okay. And kind of tying into that, you do need to trust your adults in the room. Like for better or for worse, your adults in the room are the people who are leading your group. And if you miss expectations, that means that you had expectations of some kind, which means you're probably running some sort of a successful outfit. Which means there's probably a track record there of success. And so you need to trust your leaders, obviously trust your adults, also trust your dance captains, your vocal captains, your presidents, your VPs, your whatevers, and just trust your leaders and move forward from it. And also, please, like Ethan said, you can have a situation in the homeroom. Try not to bring your situation online. it may feel really cathartic in the moment. You just look like a whiny loser to everyone else. That's going to be screenshotted and sent in group chats. That's going to be all over the place. And you don't want to be the one that, your school looks like the super whiny school just because of you personally. So there's certainly a place to vent your emotions. It is not in public online, even like your close friend's Instagram story, like that's way too public. That can get screenshotted by someone. So have your moments, take your emotional regulation, but then move forward from it, kind of take the bus ride home and wallow in it if you need to, but then kind of move on from it and go from there. On the flip side of that, we do have plenty of choirs making long trips. We have several. We're going to highlight 2 of them right now that are not part of our comps of the week this week. The first one of these is Herbert Hoover High Impact and the Nitro Showcats traveling to the Homestead Classic Invitational. Maybe not Invitational, maybe just Classic. However, Herbert Hoover has the longer drive of the 2. It is 342 miles or 5 hours and 39 minutes. Have either of you looked at the Homestead lineup? And if so, how do you expect these West Virginia groups to do?
I'm pulling up right now. Give it 2 seconds.
It's the Homestead Classic Showcase, not Classic Invitation. I was so close.
This is Herbert Hoover. I don't know how this one works. Is there a small division final? There is. Okay.
Yeah, we've got 6 small division finalists.
Well, I will do one thing right now.
Oh, you
check the comments.
Oh no, I don't think anyone's done it yet.
You're right. No one has done
it. Do we need to start this? Do we let it die or do we start it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You are seeing a meme start live on stream.
Oh my goodness. People forget.
I've just contributed. So if you are watching this after the fact, go subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, like the show, etc., etc. Also, look at the Homestead Classic Showcase 2026 comment feed and see what's going on.
And all the ones before that too.
Gonna be a little treat. And all the Homestead Classic Showcase comments are dating back to like 2019, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Long running.
Oh man.
Wow.
Long running.
Live.
All right. You know what? At this point, I wish the West Virginia groups well. Who really knows where they're gonna factor in?
I have no clue. This is not my area. I got nothing.
Great. We also have Grand Island Northwest 14 karat gold driving 5 hours and 11 minutes or 333 miles to the Harrisonville Show Choir Invitational. Quinn, a little bit more of a reaction to this one.
All right, go 14 karat. Yay. I think 14 karat and gold and then Blue Valley Chamber Singers is going to be a really interesting battle. I don't immediately know who's gonna win that one. Grand Island Northwest does have 2 wins under their belt so far, where Blue Valley has only competed once. But I do think this is going to be really, really interesting and fun. This competition was canceled last year because of weather. Happens to the best of us. And this is also not the first time Grand Island Northwest has. I don't believe it's the first time they've competed at this competition.
Wow.
Uh-oh. My memory might be. I'm trying to go back in time, and it's just not validating what I'm saying. It's okay. 2018. All right, my bad. So they've been here before. I swear that they were going to go here last year, then pulled out because of weather, and so they ended up going to Lincoln Northwest and then competing against Lincoln Southwest there. I'm like 90% sure that's what happened. But hey, good luck to 14 karat gold. Good luck to Blue Valley. Good luck to everyone else competing there. It's going to be really, really fun competition.
All right. With that being said, we will roll into our comps of the week. First one is the Homewood South Central Classic preview. We just talked about the Homestead Classic Showcase. Now we've got the Central Classic. Y'all, these comp names are just starting to blend for me a little bit. We got
you're right.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, they do. Don't worry.
The lineup of the Homewood Classic in large mixed Clinton Attaché, Oak Mountain Singers, Spain Park Rhapsody in Blue, Auburn Varsity Singers, Northwest Rankin the Ambassadors, Jackson Academy Encore, Middle Mixed Albertville, and Sumrall, Small Mixed Boaz, Chelsea, Leeds, Pisgah, and Tallahassee. And in single gender, we've got Albertville, both of the Auburn groups, Northwest Rankin Allure, and Oak Mountain Muses. Ladies and gentlemen, we see Clinton Attaché for the first time on a competition stage this season.
We also see Oak Mountain on their first
This is true.
competition stage this season. This is gonna be a fun one. This is a statement one for the South. It's gonna be really fun. Starting off with Tier 1. I mean, Spain Park, they had a good result last time out. Northwest Rankin also had a good result last time out, so they're kind of on a high. I believe both got third places. Shout out. I mean, Auburn did not get the result that they wanted. I mean, plain and simple, not a lot of people saw them at the bottom of finals. So they're going to be hungry, and hungry dogs run faster. Seeing Oak Mountain versus Clinton is going to feed families, I think, especially in their first competition. I believe it was 2 years ago at Homewood where Oak Mountain fell to Clinton. So we're kind of getting a little rematch in that. And yeah, Oak Mountain won this competition last year, thus them going last in Tier 1. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. If anyone can get a shot at Clinton, it's definitely the ones from the South, and they are the ones that want to do it the most. So it's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see what the result is.
Quinn, anything that you want to add in on this one?
Go Clinton. I think Oak Mountain could do really well here, and that'll pretty much showcase how they're going to do when they go up to Center Grove's competition and compete against Franklin Central, and then Fishers, and then North Central Counterpoints. Maybe I might be wrong about that one, but
that checks out.
Nope, that does check out. I just checked. But so I think depending on how they do here, will kind of pave the way for how they do when they travel to Indiana next weekend, because that's going to be really tough. Center Grove, best of the Midwest. Yeah, it's best of the Midwest for a reason. Well, best of the Midwest plus Oak Mountain. So, no, I think, yeah, they could do really well here, and then we'll see how they do the rest of the season.
Absolutely. A couple things that I want to touch on here. Number one, this is kind of a prove-it moment for both Spain Park and Auburn. Auburn, obviously, as Ethan alluded to, not getting the placement they wanted last week. Spain Park, overall GC at Hoover, kind of a surprising podium at Oak Mountain this past week. If they can put another podium on the board here, which would mean finishing behind Clinton and Oak Mountain, I think a lot of people are going to have to start taking Spain Park a lot more seriously than they were even right now. So I think some people may be a little hesitant to embrace Spain Park. I'm here to tell you that resistance is futile. This group will be a force, if not this year, then almost certainly next year. I'm also looking at NWR versus JA. This is presumably going to be your 5 battle in large mixed, although, of course, I could be wrong in that. Northwest Rankin third at Jassy last weekend, kind of placed, they placed behind Tupelo and Grenada. They placed ahead of Hoover and Biloxi, kind of where a lot of people are like, oh, okay, you know what? Like, I see that out of Northwest. JA, it's their debut for the season. They are a lot bigger of a group than last year, if I am told correctly. I did not watch the Jassy live stream. However, I saw them last year. The bones of a phenomenal show were certainly there. I'm excited to see what they can do with a lot more talent on stage. Also, there are 6 large mixed groups. There are 5 final spots. And there's the Oak Mountain Muses, which means that 2 very, very quality groups will be missing finals here. I would hate to be one of those 2 groups. I would also hate to be one of the judges on the – well, actually, I would love it and I would hate it, right? Great shows.
Yeah.
Hard choosing between them, right? So I'm just super, super interested to see how this one goes. South, the first few weeks, it's like, okay, there are like 7 competitions across the South this weekend, and each of them is 5 groups. Each of the last 2 weekends, it's been like, hello, Birmingham, Alabama. You are bringing very, very good groups together from everywhere. So shout out Oak Mountain and Homewood for that. We'll move to Ohio for the Loveland Showfest. The lineup in this one, large mixed division, Beaver Creek, Daniel Hand, Fairfield, Hamilton, Marysville, Newcastle, and Olentangy. And in the women's division, Fairfield, Marysville, Newcastle, Olentangy, and West Jessamine. This competition will take 5 mixed finalists and 2 women's finals and features our Real Traveler Award winner of the week, Daniel Hand, who is driving 725 miles and 11 and a half hours to get to Loveland.
I'm driving farther. I'm driving farther for Brownsburg, so that's nothing.
Is that this week?
No, you're not. No, it's not. You're right.
Give Daniel Hand their space as the Traveler Award this week.
Oh, I love that. Daniel Hand versus Marysville is going to be really good. I think that's a really good matchup. It is more of Marysville's area. Well, it is Marysville. It's their state. So, I think they have I'm not saying they have home field advantage, but they're not traveling as far. So maybe they'll win. Daniel Hancock. I have not seen any of these shows, by the way. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I got nothing on this one. I just think Daniel Hand versus Marysville is gonna be really cool.
Ethan, what say you?
What say me? So there's only 5 finalists, and off rip, I would believe, or 5 mixed finalists. I believe those 5 would be Beaver Creek, Daniel Hand, Marysville, Olentangy, and Fairfield. However, Hamilton and Newcastle can definitely make some noise here as well. The thing that jumps off to me is, yes, of course, Daniel Hand coming to a competition, especially after 2 great times out, winning the gold medal. It's Olympic season. Got to mention the gold medals. And over Waltham and, others who are amazing choirs out east. Kind of see how I'm kind of liking the wild card here, Olentangy. So I'm going to go with Marysville at the 1, Olentangy at the 2, coming off a win over Beaver Creek and Grove City. I'm then going to go Daniel Hand at the 3. I'm going to go after the 3. I'm going to go with Fairfield at the 4, and then Beaver Creek rounding it out for my finals. I don't know. I just feel like every single time a group from East Coast travels down to the Midwest or somewhere else, it's kind of like they don't get the result a lot of people think they plan on getting. And, maybe it's just a difference in judging. Maybe it's a difference in competition. It's super hard when you're in the Northeast and you just run into the same choirs over and over and over and over again to really see what you're about. But, hey, Daniel Hand's doing it. So you have to give them a lot of props for going out of their way to a great competition like this against parental contenders from in the country. So I'm going to have them in 3rd. However, they can go from anywhere. Marysville and others have a big task to protect their state. So it'll be interesting.
I just want to give a shout out to the women's finals in this one. This is looking like it'll be a Fairfield versus Marysville matchup. These 2 groups very, very close at Olentangy a couple of weeks ago. However, Olentangy, she notes, coming off a pretty surprise placement in finals. So at the bare minimum, there's going to be one really solid group on the outside of this finals field. And that's the point of finals, right? Is that when you get to a point where there are more good choirs and final spots, finals means a lot more. Moving to a competition that will have a lot more deserving groups and then final spots, we have the Waconia Star Power. This one in Minnesota. The lineup for this one: Benton Community, Holman, Iowa City, North St. Paul, Sparta, Burke, Bloomington Jefferson, Eau Claire North, Millard North, St. Francis, Bloomington Kennedy. How many states did I just name off?
All of them.
Yeah.
I don't
know. Definitely Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota,
Nebraska. I think that's 4? It. Yeah. I think that's 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I win.
Good for you, Ethan. You win homeroom show choir this week.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So this one has a lot of different contenders colliding from different circuits. We have arguably some of the top groups from 4 different circuits going at it. We have Iowa City from the Cedar Rapids, Eastern Iowa circuit. We have Bloomington Kennedy from the Minnesota circuit. We have Sparta from the Wisconsin circuit. Millard North from the Nebraska circuit. How do you guys see all of this shaking out?
Oh, this is weird. This one throws me off because I've seen these groups in person. I've seen Iowa City, I've seen Bloomington Kennedy, I've seen Millard North, I've seen Bloomington Jefferson, and I've seen Sparta in person. How
did you do that?
Winmar, Gretna East, and then Bloomington Kennedy's comp. That's how that happens.
Wow.
But
wow, that was impressive.
Wow. But so I think those five will for sure make finals. I think that I don't know the order. I think objectively speaking, Iowa City's the best group here. Objectively, does that mean they're gonna win? I don't know because they also traveled to Monona Grove last year and got second to De Pere. So that's what's throwing me off currently. Um, because part of me is like, oh, maybe Iowa City will lose to Kennedy or Millard
With all due
North.
respect to Monona Grove, that Monona Grove always has weird things happen at their competition.
Mhm.
I'm going to chalk that up to a Monona Grove Aura thing and not an Iowa City thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, I think Iowa City is objectively the best group here, but Bloomington Kennedy's that they're really good. Millard North is really good. I think Millard North could take band, honestly. And then Bloomington Jefferson is popping off. Like I think they just needed I saw them at Bloomington Kennedy. They just need to clean their choreo just a little bit. And they could definitely do that in a few practices. So maybe they'll do better than what they'll do. I don't know. And then Sparta, I think Sparta has the misfortune of being up against these really good groups. So I don't know what's going to happen. Currently, I have it Iowa City in first with vocals, Kennedy in second with choreo, Millard North in third with band, Bloomington Jefferson in fourth, Sparta in fifth, and sixth place could honestly go to like five different, pretty much the rest of the large groups there. I'm just gonna go Holman. I have no reason to. I got nothing. I have no reason to pick Holman. I'm just going to because why not? So this is gonna be a really fun competition that I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to this weekend.
So there are 7 different groups here that have placed on the podium so far this season. Ethan, what else do you have to add?
No, yeah, I think you just tapped on what I was going to talk about. Yeah, like even Benton Community was on the podium this year. They didn't place in finals at Prairie, but they've been on the podium too, so they can knock on the door as well. I'm not even gonna touch this with a poll prediction wise. There is so much that can happen, and knowing everything that just happened last week, I feel like this is one of the competitions where if the panel likes one group, that one group can propel all the way. And
Go Jordan Johnson.
yeah,
Let's go. He's on the panel.
and it's not even like that they like one group. If they are just so split on everybody, a group that just has less, I don't know, less fourth places gets third, and it'll be tough to be a unanimous one here. So if any of these groups are able to do that, that is a huge props. Like you said, Bloomington Jefferson's on the rise. They're one to keep your eye on in this competition. Millard North had a very successful first competition out. I know they kind of slid a little bit back in their past couple. St. Francis is a choir that I think might be on the outskirts. However, they're still a very solid choir that could make a run here. Bloomington Kennedy, yeah, I'm thinking podium for them. I hope they're going for gold, so I rhythm and gold, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're done. You're done.
Yeah. And also a good mention for the Northern Airs. I mean, they're a choir that's had a good season so far too. All these choirs are fantastic. It's going to be an amazing result for some of these choirs. Definitely momentum boosters.
Last thing I just want to quickly point out is there is because I was just looking at the lineup. There is a possibility that Millard North Illumination takes sixth place. Like that's not. I don't think that's unrealistic to say. That's a possibility. But I just want to throw that out there.
I don't know if single gender groups are going to be eligible for finals this year.
I would say they have in the past.
I know,
but yeah.
Never mind. I take that back. Millard North Illumination was fourth a couple of years ago and was a good field. Okay. Yeah, I think there's certainly a possibility of that. I am super excited to watch this battle for the sixth spot. I have obviously rooting interest for my Wisconsin groups, Holman and Eau Claire North. I also have family ties to Benton. So pretty much if one of several groups, and obviously I like Millard North as well, their kids were phenomenal last year at Chesterton. So if several different groups take the sixth spot, I'll be happy. Like there really isn't a lose situation for me here in this sixth spot. And That just warms my heart to see that. We'll move to our last comp of the week. A quick reminder here, we are doing a special Chesterton preview right after this. So we will end this stream and hop over to the live stream that says special Chesterton preview. So if you are interested in Chesterton coverage and you've wondered why we haven't talked about that tonight, it's because we got a whole stream coming up for it at the top of the hour, which is in 2 minutes here. Urbandale can be summed up in 3 words: Linmar, Johnston, and Westside. Discuss.
Linmar will win. Johnston will get second. Westside will get third. Johnston Synergy will get fourth. Linmar Prep will get fifth. And Westside Girls Group will get sixth. There's my predictions. I will be there on Saturday, and I will also be at North Polk on Saturday. So that's a wrap for me.
Wow. Okay, then.
Well, I was just about to say there's not a lot of 3-choir tier one fields that would make me be like, oh, I want to drive out there and watch this. But this one's one of them. I mean, this is one of the ones where it's like, oh, they only have 3 choirs, but it's 3 of the best choirs in the country. It's going to be a great battle. Johnson, they're going to get their lick at them, Linmar. So anything can happen. Linmar could lose the belt. I don't know. It's just one of those. It's just one of those things where it's all up to the panel, and I know Linmar is just one of the Titans, and you just can't bet against them right now. Even the spot for second. I mean, Westside, if they can knock Johnson off of that 2 spot, and that would be a great win for them too. And I'm saying that like these are 3 top tier choirs in the country. So I mean, I know they just have a lot of pride on the line here to try to knock off their fellow competitors.
I just hope everybody has fun.
I do too.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
This is one of those deals where there are 3 phenomenal shows, and one of them is going to have to finish third. And that's just how the game works.
Oh, so, I've seen all 3 of these shows already. I love all of them. So it's going to be a good day. Plus, I get to see studio and exhibition again. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I love studio. Studio's great this year. I love it. So it's going to be a fun comp.
Real quick, we are at the top of the hour. EP, where will you be this week?
This weekend, I might be at Chesterton for the day, and then I'll also be doing a double feature. I'll be driving to Naperville for finals. Go cheer on my Sensations. So, yeah, it'll be a very, 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 very long day. However, it would definitely be rewarding in show choir terms.
With that being said, that is the end of our regular show. Another plug for our Chesterton preview that is coming up in just a moment. If you're listening to this after the fact, wherever you are finding this episode, the Chesterton preview will be there as well, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, or some other medium that I don't really know about right now. With that being said, we will see you right back here next Tuesday for another episode of Show Choir Nation. For Ethan and Quinn, I am Will. Have a great Show Choir weekend, everybody.
All right.